Hello and welcome to the Needle Creations Crochet Video Workshop. We're here to show you how to do some techniques along with some tips on how to create your crochet project. This segment we're going to make a crochet angel and her name is Hope. And everything that you need comes with your kit. We have your instructions. A crochet hook, thread for stitching the eyes, plastic needle, 3 shades of yarn, and the only additional pieces that you will need will be a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a tape measure for this one. There's a great set of instructions. The skill level is listed as intermediate. Make sure that you understand your instructions before you begin and practice the stitches being used so that you don't become overwhelmed working on your project. Your kit will come with a 3.5 millimeter hook. It may be white, it may be blue. Many of us have our favorite hook, but we recommend you use the hook that comes with this kit to maintain gauge or the tension of your fabric so you won't run out of yarn. There's 5 different areas to a hook: the head, the throat or the neck, the shaft, the thumb rest, and then there's the handle. You can hold it like this, or you can hold it like this. The head of the hook is smaller and pointed, so it makes it easy to go in, but your stitch should always be equal with the shaft part of your hook, and that also will help you with your gauge. You may find that there's a little bit of a rough spot on the top of the head. Lightly smooth that out. Many crochet instructions will include a gauge check before you begin. Having the correct tension, which is how tight or loose you crochet, is important to your project coming out to the correct size and will ensure that you don't run out of yarn. You'll single crochet a swatch and you'll count the number of rows and stitches across to make sure that it matches what your instructions say. Also on your instructions, you're going to see your abbreviations. Make sure you understand each one, the colors of the yarn, the various stitches. If you have to repeat any instructions, you will see an asterisk or brackets, then your other abbreviations. Each instruction sheet will have great graphics on what stitches are used for this project. If you need a refresher to practice any of them, please check our crochet stitches video. We're going to begin with the body, and this is color A, the white. We're going to begin a slip knot on your hook, chain 2, then 6 single crochet into that second chain, and I hold on to the tail end of it. And this is 6. Now on this one we are going to join to the beginning single crochet. So we have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Insert your hook into that first single crochet, pick up a loop and pull it through, and there you've slip stitched. Pull your tail to close the end, chain 1. Now we're going to increase, so we're going to 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to increase 6 stitches, which will give us 12. So that's the first increase. Second. 11, and that's 12. Now you can see here, this looks like a stitch, but this is where you joined. So make sure you count your stitches and you can identify them. We're going to join into the first one. And again, count your stitches to make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to increase again. We're going to continue increasing 6 stitches each round. So this time we single crochet in the first, 2 single crochet in the next. And we do that 6 times. Now that's where your instructions will show it in brackets. So when it says single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next 6 times, that's what it's telling you. So this will be the second increase. Single crochet, increase. This will be number 3. 4, 5, and 6. And you'll have 18 stitches. And again, make sure you can identify that that is your slip stitch. This is the first single crochet at the beginning of the round, slip stitch. Continue in this manner, following your instructions. And here is your completed body. Now we're going to stuff the body. Make the body fairly firm. You can flatten out the bottom a little bit, so when she's finished, she will stand upright. Then we're going to make the arms. Now again, you start out the same way that you did with the body, with a chain 2, working in the round, joining your rounds. On this, once we have reached round 5, you're going to change colors to white to complete the arm. So insert our hook in the joining of that first stitch, pull that through and pull it through the loop that's on the hook. And we're going to tie this to secure it. Fasten off your light peach color C. And then continuing from round 6 on, it's chain 1. Single crochet around, working over that tail. I've had you pull the tail from the beginning, and at this point you may want to take your needle and weave through a few of the stitches underneath to make sure you can secure that opening. Weave your end through the back loops of several stitches. And pull, and then you can clip that end. And then we just continue around. And we have our arms completed. We need to make 2 of these. The head, again, is made in the same manner as you did the body, starting with a chain 2, working in the round, joining each round, increasing and decreasing per the instructions. When you get to round 16, I think it's the perfect place to stop and work the eyes. You're going to use your black thread. You can see where you're joining in the back. keeping this portion to the back and looking at the front, just kind of eyeball it on where you feel like a good position for them would be. I think rounds 9 and 10 come up from behind. You're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right here is where I'm going to place my first eye. I'll leave a little bit of a tail in the back so you can fasten off. And you're just going to come down one row, over, work a few stitches, back up, space about 3 or 4 stitches, and you can do this, place the eyes how you like. Come over maybe 4 stitches, angle down, back up, and you can do these as you like, but this is the easy way of stitching your eyes on. Going to bring this over, tie this off, clip. This point is also a good time to stuff the head. We're going to take our fiber fill out of the package and fluff it a little bit because it's very condensed, packed very tightly, so air it out a little bit, pull off a hunk. And I use my thumbs to press it up inside and kind of shape it a little bit. Just a little more. I'll finish that last round, which is a decrease round. We have 12 stitches. At this point, we're going to decrease down to 6 stitches. So that means we're going to work 2 stitches together. Insert your hook, pull a loop through. The next stitch, insert your hook, pull a loop through, yarn over and through all 3. That was a decrease. Insert your hook, pull a loop through, insert your hook, pull a loop through, yarn over and through all 3. That's 2 decrease. And then we're going to join it to the first and fasten off. Leave a tail for sewing. I would suggest 10 to 12 inches. All right, and there we have our head. And now we're going to begin the wings. Now this is not made in a round. This one's going to be working back and forth in rows. So we're going to start with our slip knot on our hook and chain 31. And always count your stitches to make sure you have 31 chain. Then we're going to do 1 row of single crochet. So you're going to start in the second chain from the hook, single crochet, all the way across. You'll have 30 single crochet stitches when you get to the end. And you can see sometimes I take my fingers to hold the end so it's not curling up. All right, now we have our row of single crochet. We're going to turn. We're going to slip stitch across the first 3 stitches. So you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch. Slip stitch is pulling it through the loop that's on the hook. Slip stitch through the next one. The first one can be a little difficult because usually you have a chain when you turn and you don't on this one. All right, so we've slip stitched across 3. We're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet in that same stitch. And then the next 25. All right, you'll have 2 stitches remaining at the end. You're going to skip those stitches. You're not going to work them. You're going to turn, chain 1, single crochet across that row. Now you'll have 26 stitches because if you're reading the instructions, you single crocheted in that first stitch where you slip stitched and then 25 more. So we're going to turn again, don't chain, you're going to slip stitch again across 3 stitches. And that first one's always a little difficult to pull through. There's 1, 2, 3. Again, chain 1, single crochet back in that same stitch, and then in the next 21. Again, you'll have 2 stitches at the end of your row. This is where you turn. Following your instructions, continue this stair stepping. And this is what the wings will look like when they're complete. Here's where you slip stitched across. Now we're going to make the heart with color C, which is the light peach. Again, we start with a slip knot on our hook. We're going to chain 4, Join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. So see 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to make a ring. And in this ring, working over that tail end, 2 double crochet. First, chain 2 and a double crochet, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And again, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. All right, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochet. So that is yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over and through all 3. Do that again. Yarn over, hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over and through all 3. That's 2. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet. Then 2 half double crochet again. Then 2 double crochet. Chain 2, slip stitch. We're going to fasten off, leave a tail for sewing. Pull this, tighten it, and there's your heart. Now at this point you may want to go ahead and sew on the heart. You could put it on prior to stuffing. I find it just as easy to do it this way. This will be the front. Keep your joining and your yarn tail to the back, and you can kind of position this how you like. It just takes a couple of stitches to tack it down. Tie your ends. And then what I do is take that other end also, and I'll just pull it through. Cut that off. And now we're going to place the head. You're going to come up, third round up from your closing on your head. Position it to where you think that looks like it's centered. And you may want to put your head on first before you place the heart. That's totally up to you. You have 18 stitches going around the top of your body, so keep that in mind while stitching on the head. Weave in your tail end from the body. And clip. All right, now we have our head. Now we're going to add the arms. We need to add a little stuffing to them. And this is where it could come in handy if you had a pencil or the end of your crochet hook. You can use wooden dowel sticks for stuffing, for pushing the fiber fill into small places. That's pretty good. And again, you have enough fiber fill. You can fill these as firmly or loose as you like. Sometimes with arms, I like having the upper portion a little looser just to make it easier for sewing it on. So we're going to take our yarn end, and when you're clipping ends, when you're making these pieces, try to have 10 to 12 inches for sewing. All right, so we're going to come down a couple of rounds from the top, having your end fold in half, and try to position it on the side. So I'm going to work right there, picking up stitches through the row, and then I'm going to come in. Make sure you get both sides of your stitches. Then we're going to attach the other side. We've sewn on both arms. Place the wings on the back. Now you're just going to cut a 4 or 5 inch piece of yarn, wrap it around the center several times, and attach it to the center back. And there's your wings and your arms, everything sewn together. Now we're going to work on the hair. You're going to take your color B, which is the copper, and you're going to cut 18-inch lengths. Just use the entire ball of yarn. I've already separated mine out. You're going to need 12 to make a braid. And what I've done is take a little elastic band, hair band, or use a rubber band to tie them together. You may want to use some Scotch tape just to tape it down to hold it in place. I started this. And you're going to divide your 12 strands into 3 groups of 4 strands each. Take the left over the center, the right over that, the left over, the right over, continue. And as you can see, I have 2-3 inches at the top, and you're going to braid this down until you have that much remaining at the end of this braid. And that will be joined in with the hair as you add it to the top of the head. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to tie a little knot on the end of it, or you can put another elastic or rubber band, something that'll be easy to pull out at the end. All right, now what we're going to do is the braid is positioned around the head. So you can see you can take a few of those braids out. They need to meet at the back. We're going to sew the braid on. Make sure that's where you want it. I'll take the knot out of the end of my braid. And I'm going to just start stitching this in place. Leave a tail. And you're just going to tack it down so you can make long running stitches. We'll pull the elastic off the other end. and all of these ends will be worked together. Now at this point, you may want to go ahead and take your elastic and hook all of them together to keep these under control while you're adding the hair to the top. And then once the hair strands are added into the braid, we're going to braid it all together. So we're going to take 4 strands, and it's actually added kind of like a fringe. Insert in the back loop. Pick up 4 strands, pull through, and secure. And you're going to do that in every other loop, or every loop around. And you can use 3 or 4. It does say to use 4 strands. You want to thin it out or make it thicker. That is your preference. And you're going to work this around the entire braid. Now we have all of our yarn attached to the braid to create the hair. Flip it over, divide this into 3 groups as best you can. So we're going to braid the entire piece down the center. And I've saved one 18-inch length so I can tie off at the end. Okay, so we're going to braid all of these, and this can be a little tedious trying to hold on to her. There we go. And working all of your yarn pieces in. And you can see some of them are going to be longer than others. I braided as far down as I possibly can. You can see you got a couple of short ends here. I'm going to take a length that I saved. I'm trying to hang on to this. Is when it would be nice to have extra hands. All right, trying to keep that tight and wrap it, and then wrap it again. And we'll adjust this after I get it tied. Tie the ends. And this can be worked in, and then you're just going to trim this up. Weave in your end. This was the end I had remaining from sewing the braid on. All right, clip that. That won't show. And there we have it. And there's hope. And if you have any questions, you can contact us via email, help@askacrafter.com. I love to crochet.